Welcome to Intuitive Flow, hosted by me, Michaela Falar, intuitive energy healer and mindset mentor. You've landed in the space you need to be to hear the no bullshit truth about how to actually manifest the life that you crave. This is the podcast that's here to shake you awake. It's time to unapologetically step into the woman you came here to be, the one who effortlessly attracts everything she desires. Let's flow. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Intuitive Flow. In today's episode, we are going to get into how trusting my intuition has literally upgraded my entire life. Most people think that intuition works like this. You follow it and then you get an immediate reward. But that's not actually how it always works out. Intuition does this really incredible thing where it creates a spider web. One yes connects to another, which connects to another, until eventually your entire life upgrades. And today, I'm going to be walking you through how I trusted my intuition. And because I trusted my intuition, it changed my business, my health, my body, my money, my relationship, and even where I live. And none of these things would have happened if I didn't trust myself before I actually had the proof. And this spiderweb moment came to me just like so randomly. And I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, it's just actually insane how much trusting yourself can affect your life. And especially like in those moments, the reason why I trust myself so radically is because I have my intuition to ask all of the questions that I typically would want to ask, either somebody else or somebody who's already been through it, or like just all of the questions. When you like make a big decision, you have questions and you want your questions answered. But like most of the time you're asking people who are around you who maybe are going to shed their own perception on it and persuade you to say yes or no because of based off of like what they know or what they experienced. And the best way that you can gather the answers that you are looking for when you are making a decision is by asking your higher self. Like, there is literally no one better than to ask, because your higher self knows you like the back of your hand. It knows every single thing about you. It knows your future. It knows your past. It knows your present. It knows what answer is best, your yes or your no, what's best for you. It knows what's best for you, period, end of story. So I have learned how to hone in and trust it. And I am just like screaming it from the rooftops, obviously, because it has changed my life. And I realized the spiderweb situation going on today. So I'm going to share it with you guys, because if I didn't, like I said, none of this would be my reality. My intuition has truly changed my physical reality. And I know that what I teach inside of Awaken will have you changing your reality too if you use the tools that are inside of the course that I teach. Well, as you might know, intuition, like this, obviously there's a spider web that goes way further back than this, but for time purposes, we are going to take it back to literally the middle of 2025. And this is when I had this intuitive pull to join the mastermind, right? The business mastermind that I'm a part of, that's like over 20K for the year. And it was like the biggest investment that I've ever made in myself and in my business. And it was like I said, a big investment and the biggest one I'd ever made. And it was scary, I guess you could say. I was super nervous. I had a lot of questions around it. I didn't know if it was the right choice for me because, not everything, just because it works for somebody else, sometimes it doesn't work for everybody. And so I asked intuition, I asked higher self if like now was the best time in so many different ways. And I'll kind of get into like the filters that I use in a little bit. But for now, just know that like all of the questions that I had surrounding like, oh, should I join this masterclass or mastermind or not? Or is it going to be in my best interest? Like, am I going to get the most out of it? Am I going to be happy that I did it? and asking like all of these questions to make sure that, yeah, I was trusting myself and trusting the pool, but like then I was reassuring, I was using my intuition to reassure myself so that I wasn't spiraling, I wasn't overthinking, and I was confident in my decision. And that confidence in your decision truly does change everything, especially afterwards, because you go, you spend the money, you make the investment, whatever it is, and you're like, okay, cool. Wipe your hands clean of it. You know that you did what your higher self wants you to do. And you know that your higher self has your fucking back and will never, ever, ever steer you in the wrong direction. So you don't have another freaking thought about it afterwards. You're just like done. And it's so convenient. But I didn't join that mastermind because it was safe or logical. Like I joined because something in my body said like, you have to. Like it was a pull, an intuitive pull inside of my body that was like, I need this. I need to join this right fucking now, or I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And so that, because I made that decision, it sharpened my messaging. It changed how I spoke to my audience. It elevated my self-concept as a business owner. I wasn't just paying for information. I was paying for proximity. I was paying for identity. I was paying for a whole upgrade, right? And I don't think that we notice this or think about these things when we make big investments in ourselves or our business or our passion or whatever it is that we want to make our investment in. We don't think about like the invisible ROI, right? We just think about like the return on investment. So there's a difference between the return on investment and then invisible return on investment. The return on investment, like period, is just like, you spend money, you make money. And you know that for a fact you're going to make money back from your investment, which this investment obviously had both a ROI, like an ROI and an invisible ROI. The invisible ROI are things like the community that I've had, that I've met from this mastermind, the identity upgrade, the confidence upgrade, the messaging upgrade that I've had, and that is just what makes everything so much more impactful. And I think that we just don't think about these things. So if you are making an investment in yourself, also think about like the invisible ROI that could also come from it. It's not always just about the return on investment, like the money that you're getting back from your investment. It's also about the invisible return on investment as well. So then, because everyone has been asking me like, Kayla, what the hell are you doing? You look so good. How did you lose so much weight? What's happening? And they're asking me about the liver detox that I just completed literally yesterday, which by the time you listen to this, it'll be probably like a week or so after this. But what I'm saying here is this liver detox that I just did, I would not be doing it. I wouldn't have known anything about it. I've known that I've needed to get my shit together, obviously, because I've been experiencing all of these symptoms that were just not normal. And I wanted to fix them. I wanted to heal them. And I knew that I needed to get lab work done in order to figure out what exactly, to get to the bottom of it. I already intuitively looked in on my labs and my hormones, or not my labs, I'm sorry, on my hormones. Specifically, though, my sex hormones. And it's really cool because all of the answers that I got knowing that I intuited for my sex hormones from my intuitive read that I did before I did the labs was correct and actually matched the labs. So, but without going into my whole story and my labs and how they how they all showed up, I'm going to reel back in, and I'm not going to go on that kind of tangent. But needless to say, I invested in a functional health nutritionist. And you might be wondering, Michaela, what does a functional health nutritionist have to do with the mastermind that you are a part of? Well, I I met the functional health coach inside of my mastermind. I saw what she was doing. I saw the work that she does. I saw the incredible testimonials from her clients. And I was like, girl, I need to work with you. And I knew that I did, but it was just, again, it was a big investment for me. And I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if this is the right thing or if this is the right time. And I kept on putting it off, putting it off. And so we met together for the business mastermind retreat. And I met her in real life. And I was talking to her about why I've been putting it off. And as I was talking out loud to her, I was listening to the words that were coming out of my mouth. And I was like, oh my God, bitch, like you are so full of fucking excuses. Every single thing that came out of my mouth was just another excuse, right? It was all just made up bullshit. And the fact of the matter is that I was just nervous about the investment. That was the real, like, actual thing. And I was also nervous to like give up the food, right? Like the date nights and eating the way that I've been eating for the last 2 years, right? But eating that way has gotten me to where, or had gotten me to where I didn't want to be, right? And the whole reason why I was in the situation that I was in, and I felt the need to work with her in the first place. So basically, I heard that coming out of my mouth and I was like, okay, I'm going to make the move. So I made the move. I made the investment. I started working with her one-on-one in January. I made that investment in November because she was having a bitchin' Black Friday deal. And, and I just was like, you know what? No excuses. Paid in full. Done. So I paid her in full. I made the investment on all of the like lab work and the supplements and all of that stuff that I had to. And I have absolutely zero regrets because and I'm so happy. Before I made that investment, I went down a whole laundry list of questions that I asked intuition, asked higher self, that were just kind of getting really clear on, like I said, if I'm going to be happy with this investment, if she's the right coach for me, if I'm going to get the best results, if I'm going to be happy in 6 months that I invested in her, if investing in her is going to make me more money, like all of these different questions that I was asking higher self to make myself that much more confident in my decision to work with her. But had I not signed up, listen to my intuition in the first place, signed up for the mastermind, then listen to my intuition to sign up for working with my health coach, I would not be in the best shape of my life. Well, I'm getting there. I've been in better shape, but that was like because of bodybuilding, like NPC bodybuilding competitions. Like, I don't know if you knew that I did that, but I did that for a couple of years. That was crazy. This is definitely not like this, but anyways, I digress. Feeling better in my body, 13 pounds down, aligned with my wedding vision and body goals. And my body's a direct result of a business decision that I made last year, right? Like that's crazy to think about. Like that's because of an intuitive business decision that I am now where I am in like business and life and health and my body. So every time I've trusted my intuition, like every single time, it has paid me back 10x. Not immediately, not predictably, like there's no way of knowing if or when or how, but inevitably it will. So I guess there is a way of knowing if, because it will inevitably pay off 10x. And examples that are other than just this spider web that I'm giving you right now is like investing thousands into something that I was passionate about with absolutely no clue how it would pay off. Hiring mentors that scared the shit out of me and really stretched my comfort zone. Moving 2 hours away from home with absolutely zero plan and no clue how I was going to pay my rent, or going to retreats and getting into rooms with 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs or people who were doing what I wanted to do, even when it didn't logically make sense and my bank account had cobwebs in it. Like, intuition doesn't explain itself up front. It just reveals itself in hindsight. And every time you trust that intuitive pull, you are going to get that much closer to the life that you can't stop thinking about. If you feel pulled to invest in yourself, there is a reason. That pull is rarely about the investment or thing itself. It's about that next version of you that decision unlocks. Fear feels frantic and contracting, where intuition feels calm, grounded, and certain, even when it's scary. The investment isn't the risk, but ignoring the intuitive pull to invest is the risk. So next I want to get into like I keep talking about intuitive filters. And I want to start this off by making sure that you know that I don't just, you know, I don't just feel into things. Like I ask my intuition specific grounded questions. If there is an intuitive nudge, like signing up for the mastermind or working with my coach, these are just like the way that I can tell the difference. I'll give you kind of a story is like the knowing for both of these was just very neutral. It was just like and then it also after that comes like a fuck, like, okay, like this is just a knowing that I have to. And like, I know it's going to stretch me. I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but like, it's just this knowing thing. And that fear of like uncomfort, right? That's just what it is. It's fear. It's if you push past that fear and trust your intuition, you're going to get an insane return on that investment. You just don't know exactly how, but the point is for you to trust yourself enough to eventually figure out the what, or the why. So, like I mentioned, I ask my higher self extremely specific, grounded questions. And some of the filters when it comes to manifesting my house, right? We just moved into a new home, and Bryson and I are so excited. If you don't know this, we had been living in I share everything. We were living in the back house of Bryson's parents' house. And it was amazing. It served its purpose. I'm so grateful. I literally cried when I left because I just love his parents and his family so much. I'm so grateful for them. And it was time to go. Like it was time to go. I had not been in a home with a kitchen, and I missed cooking in a kitchen and having, my own space. Like it was just time. And Bryson and I knew. And so we started looking and we found something really fast. Like it's actually crazy how fast it ended up working out for us. But like also I'm not surprised because like higher self was like, it's time. And I was like, fuck yeah. But like also intuitively I wanted to make sure. Not just like because sometimes what happens, I kind of talked about this in our last episode, but like if your emotions are involved with a specific thing, then your intuitive accuracy can definitely become less than. So like I think it's like 98% less intuitive and I'm sorry, less accurate intuitive information when you're channeling from like a heightened emotion. So I wanted to get my emotions down, and then I wanted to ask a series of questions just to make sure that this specific house that we got was the one, like was in our best interest, right? So here are some filters that I used. I always go on a scale of 0 to 100. So with 100 obviously being the highest, moving into this home supports my highest timeline. I'm going to be happy here in 6 months. I'm going to be happy here in 2 years. This move is in my best interest, blank percent. So all of these I'm asking percentages on. And then I'm going, is spending X amount on rent going to increase my flow of money? Is spending X amount monthly going to increase my flow of money 3x, 4x, 5x, whatever it is? I'm going and asking so many questions that are helping me figure out and make sure that investing in X amount or in X thing is going to be in my best interest and make me more money. I'm not I'm not just going off of a vibe. I'm not just going off of a yes or no. I'm getting real fucking specific. And these are the types of things that I teach you how to do inside of Awaken Intuition Training Camp. And this is just for moving. And there's so many other questions that I've asked when it comes to moving, especially if you're moving cities or states or countries, whatever it may be for you. But then there's also like intuitive filters that I use all the time in business and any other type of investment. Like I used a bunch of filters when I was looking into if I should invest in joining the mastermind. And like I said, if I was going to invest in working with the functional health nutritionist. But I'm not ignoring the fear. I'm putting the fear aside because I know what it feels like. And I'm using my intuition to get precise answers to make the fear fucking disappear, right? I'm asking if the decision expands or contracts my future self. Intuition loves specificity. Vagueness is going to create anxiety and it's going to create less accuracy in your intuitive answers. So bringing it back home, I want you to ask yourself, what are you being pulled towards right now? What decision keeps coming back into your awareness? What if that pull isn't random, but the first thread to your spider web? Because like I said, none of this would have been possible if I didn't go into the mastermind and upgrade my skills and blow up my fucking business. I wouldn't be able to afford the life that I have now. If I wouldn't have invested in the mentors, like I wouldn't have even been here, and I wouldn't have the business that I have today, right? If I didn't take intuition training, again, wouldn't be where I am today. If I didn't, no matter what, like never stop, again, wouldn't be here today. If I didn't join the mastermind, if I didn't work with the nutritional coach, like I wouldn't have the body, the health that I have today, right? So what is it that is the start of your thread that you've been ignoring, that you need to listen to so that your life can expand and become better than you ever could have fucking imagined? I'm so grateful that I have made all of the decisions that I've made, that I honed in on my intuition, that I trusted my intuition to do A, B, and C to get me to where I am now. And I want the same for you. And that is why I created Awaken Intuition Training Camp. And that is why the doors are, the back door is open. I'm letting a few of you in the back door. If you are still interested, the doors are technically closed. But if you want in, just DM me on Instagram. Let me know. I will let you in. We are only one day in, so you are not behind. And like, if you are feeling the pull to hone in on your intuition, do not ignore that, because it just might be the first thread to your spider web, and it just might change your entire fucking life. So I hope to see you inside. DM me on Instagram. Let me know if you're interested, or just hit the link below and email the team and we'll get you in there. Every time I trust my intuition, it has paid off, and it didn't just change one area of my life. It changed everything. So thank you so much for being here. That's all I've got for you guys today. And I will see you guys next week. Chat soon. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of Intuitive Flow with Michaela Falar. If this lit something up inside of you, make sure you hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. We have new episodes coming out every week. If you love what you heard, drop a 5-star rating and review, or share it with a family member or friend so that this podcast can grow and help more women rise. For more on self-love, self-image, intuition, and manifestation, come hang out with me on Instagram or TikTok at Michaela Falar. The links are all in the show notes below. And as always, we will chat soon.